Hello, I'm Mario and welcome to another episode of my Park Explorer series. Today I'm in Seminole Canyon State Park. So I'm in Texas, and what I want to do is explore this state park. And I have to say, I think this video is going to be pretty exciting. And the reason why I'm saying that is the other day I started off on a guided tour where we actually went down into the canyon and explored some of the cliff dwellings. And if you want to do that, you have to sign up for the guided tour. They don't just let people wander in there at will. Now, having said that, so that was the other day. And having said that, what I want to do this morning, today, I got up crack of dawn to get ready to do this. There's a trail. Well, there's several trails, but there's one trail in particular that goes along the Seminole Canyon Ridge and then terminates, or actually then you start to loop back over at the Rio Grande River. So right there at the Mexico United States border, there's a lookout there, and along the route they provide, the Park Service provides you with a map, and they indicate different points of interest. So that's what I want to do. I want to hit up each of those points of interest. They provide even GPS coordinates, and so I'm excited to do that and explore something new to me. Then afterwards, I'll share what I did the other day with that guided tour. It was awesome. So anyway, let's jump on the bicycle here, and I'm going to start heading off towards that trail. I'm here right at the trailhead for the Canyon Rim Trail, and over here on my left, this is where the primitive camping begins, and they have electrical and water hookups over here to my left, also towards the top of the hill, restroom, etc. But what I wanted to get at is that along the ridge here, there was a railroad line that they built back in the 1880s. And so that's going to be actually one of the points of interest that we're going to, well, the first one that we're going to stop off at. So we're going to get there in a second. But yeah, this is the trailhead. So there's signs, and they offer a lot of maps and everything. So it's easy to navigate. You can put your bicycles on this trail. You can walk your pets if they have a leash. So hiking, everything is pretty much acceptable here. And of course they want you to watch out for snakes and not to fall off the edge of the cliffs. So let's get on the road. Whoops. I made it to the first point of interest here, and yes, had a little mishap back there. Managed to pop my inner tube on the front tire here. I think I have that sorted, and I don't think any amount of tire pressure would have mattered. That was just straight operator error. At any rate, here we are. This is the railroad bed crossing. Now the railroad, the way I understand it, kind of heads that direction and back that direction, and you can kind of see some of the rocks and earth that they had piled up there to create the railroad bed, and we're actually going to climb out over it. But why this is so important and why it's historic is this actually played a major role in connecting the West Coast and the East Coast, and also helped with settlement, towards the west. So this is that 1880s railroad. There's a lot of evidence of them when they were building this in this area for, I guess, about 2 years. And so yeah, you can see behind me, this is what I was just pointing at, and I'm actually on top of what used to be the railroad bed. So there's evidence of this all throughout here. And so 1880s, what is that, 130 years ago? That's a while ago. I don't want to do the math right now. At any rate, let's head off to the next point of interest. It's just straight ahead this way. Yeah, I can't tell if I'm on the trail or this is just a path that the water kind of dug out. Probably a little of both, but it looks like the trail's over here. Yeah, first glance of Seminole Canyon right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, apparently I did veer off the trail a little bit here. Uh-oh. All right, made it through. All right, I think we're coming up on the second point of interest right here. And wow, I got a pretty good view of the canyon already. This is all Seminole Canyon here. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Wickiup, but apparently they had these little shelters that they would build here, and the shelters were braced up by a circular rock pattern. And so apparently people found a couple of these rock patterns right here. And so there's a little sign here that helps illustrate that and just explain the history of ancient peoples that inhabited this area so many years ago. So this is a significant spot here, and there's lots of that stuff throughout here. This is, anyway, it's just really cool. And yeah, off this way over here, man, I mean, just the view. I'm at the next point of interest. And so this is what they're calling Presa Canyon Overlook. Over there is the Ridgeline Trail. So I actually had to branch out and come here. So if it wasn't, it's not very far. I don't know, less than a quarter mile, just right there. But the point is that if it wasn't for the GPS waypoint that I had put on and had access to on my phone, I would not have known to slow down and turn off here. So this is fantastic. It's awesome that they offer the GPS coordinates for each of these points of interest. But yeah, let's take a look. Hopefully my chest cam is picking up some of this. Wow. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Okay, I don't know if I'm out on a ledge. Some of these, they jetty, it's like a cornice that jetties out over the canyon. One thing I wanted to mention about the Ridgeline Trail is I'm probably too old to be, or I'm so old that I shouldn't be riding a bicycle on that trail. I would not call that a beginner trail. So at any rate, just food for thought. And you got to go kind of slow on the bicycle anyway. So hiking this trail might be the best, but it's, to get all the waypoints, it's 10 miles one direction. So anyway, just food for thought. I just came from that direction over there, and you can see the trail gets a little easier right here. And I haven't taken any part of this trail, but the point is there's a junction back there. So to get to this spot, you don't have to take the Canyon Ridge Trail the entire way. And we're almost to the next point of interest. So let's head off that direction right now. All right, this is the spot here. This is Panther Cave Overlook. And yeah, so apparently you can access this area over there. I think I even see some people checking out the site. I don't know what they're doing over there necessarily, because I think I see scaffolding and stuff. So at any rate, we're gonna try to take a closer look. I got the big camera here. When you can take a boat and access that. They have steps and a dock and everything. But what happens is right now, the water level is really low. So that's why I was surprised to see people over there. Yes, but anyway, this is the point of interest, Panther Cave Overlook. And I'm gonna see if I can spot some pictographs over in this area over here. All right, well, the GPS coordinates, they led me straight to this spot right here. And so on the other side of the canyon is the Panther pictograph, essentially. And I don't know exactly when it was created or any history about it. And it does, I don't know, I'm going to try to get a shot of it with the big camera. But as I mentioned, there's some people, looks like they're working there. They got scaffolds set up and all sorts of stuff. And they got a big camera, bigger than this one. And, but yeah, I'm going to see if I can't zoom in there and take a look. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't tried. All right, well, I was able to zoom in and actually see the pictograph. Hopefully you can see it too with the pictures I took. But yeah, that's very cool. And I'm so glad the scaffolding isn't directly in front of it. I don't know if that scaffolding is permanent or what, but at any rate, we got to see it. That's totally awesome. We do have one more point of interest to see on this trek here. And, you know, I was looking at that pictograph. So they say that's a panther, but I don't know why they say panther, because it sure looks like a jaguarundi to me. But, you know, I don't know. That's just me. All right, I think I did it. It wasn't very much further, but I think I'm at the Rio Grande view. So this would be the final point of interest. And directly in front of me, on the other side of the Rio Grande, should be Mexico. And I think the GPS has me going just a little bit further forward. So I'm gonna see if I can creep up there. This is the spot. This is cool. What an amazing park. I mean, it's not a huge park. I mean, not the smallest in the world, but I mean, this one packs a punch. So, wow. Since this is the last point of interest here on this part of the journey, what I want to do, like I mentioned the other day, I was over in the upper part of the canyon. So Seminole Canyon, I don't know exactly how long it is, but the park basically runs along Seminole Canyon north to south. So we're kind of at the southern part here. Well, I mean, obviously at the southern part, there's Mexico right there. But at the northern part, they offer an upper canyon hike or an upper canyon tour. And I signed up for that. I went online, I signed it up. So let's cut over to that right now. And there's just more exciting stuff to see. The tour I signed up for is the Upper Canyon Tour. And the way I understand it is it's going to be like a 4-hour long tour. But it's not necessarily a 4-hour hike. And at any rate, this is the staging area. I'm here at the visitor center, or the park headquarters rather. And yeah, about 40 degrees this morning, but the winds should not be picking up too much. And I'm pretty excited to be here. Right now I'm looking out at this canyon, and it is just stunning. The sun's coming up over here in the east. It was explained to me by the volunteer that's leading this tour that these canyons here are actually a National Historic Landmark. And so I'm pretty excited to have the opportunity to take this tour. And if you don't sign up for the tour, you don't get access to some of the places that we're going to be going. It was explained that we're actually going to be going off the trail and down into the canyons. So I mean, this is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about all this. I'm here at the beginning of the windmill trail, and I guess they set up windmills to pump water, and we're like in this canyon. Okay, yeah, the trail, it's not the easiest thing to traverse through. So if you don't have long sleeves, long pants, you might encounter some issues. It's really, really dry. And so I didn't have any issues with water, but I'm gonna suspect that the area that I just went through, you could see some water in there. And at any rate, where do you end up? this running horse shelter. So I'm leaving the running horse shelter, and I mentioned that some of these images here are circa 1800s, but what's going on is that in the 1880s or so they were actually working on the railroad. But also in here are some pictographs that are likely 4,000 years old, or at least several thousand years old, and they believe that because of the fact that just the style of the images. I don't know the name of the shelter behind me, but we just walked down into this little canyon here. It's actually kind of like a riverbed, and I guess you can have flash flooding and all sorts of issues, but it seems pretty dry right now and safe. Yeah, so I was informed that the name of this shelter here is the Watering Hole Shelter, and I guess there's even some history as far as who had been using this shelter, you know, in recent years, and then even further back in time. In fact, there was one pictograph there. I don't know if it came out on film or not, but yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, most of the markings here were graffiti, and not necessarily from the railroad era, but from ranchers and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, really cool place. This is very cool. Like, there's a lot of bushes, so I guess we can't really go in very deep, but we're right up against this huge shelter. Off that direction is the visitor center, the park headquarters. I can actually see it from here beyond those bushes. And so this cliff is actually what I had seen when I first drove into the park, you know, at the park entrance. This was the first part of the canyon that I saw. And now I'm walking down here. Had I not booked online for this guided tour, I wouldn't have access to this. So that's awesome. And in addition, there is also some pictographs over here. At least that's what I hear our tour guide saying. This has been a very exciting trip. I'm so glad that I was able to explore around, and I'm not even taking that many days in this one park. And from here, it's off to the next destination, so we'll have to see what's in store for us in the near future. And wow, you know, I don't know what to say, but wow, this is cool. I think that sums it up. So really enjoying myself out here. Glad you came along for the ride, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.